So, it's decision time. How much of this do I rebuild and how much do I cut out and what do I do? You can see this side of this spring hanger is, I mean, it's fine. There's nothing at all wrong with this side. Obviously that's missing, but the main structure here, which we can weld to, is okay. Underneath would need tidying up, and I need to put a plate underneath, obviously. But that side is also fine. So it's not like the whole spring hanger's wrecked or anything. Things get a little bit more interesting down here. Oh, you can see. This might be the first time I've seen it properly, actually. There you can see there's a little bit of rot inside there. It's quite hard to see. Maybe you see better from the other side. Let's see if I can show you. This side is considerably worse. You can see all this here. There's holes all the way around that. Also, probably more worryingly, there's this part in the centre that the spring hanger pivots on is obviously all meant to be closed in, and that's gone as well. Now, from what I can see, so you're just going to have to put this light on the chest here. This part here that surrounds this centre pin, which houses the bolt, which houses the hanger, which houses the spring, it's gone at the top, but from there downwards it's okay. So what I could possibly do is leave all this in situ, cut this out, and put a new surrounding piece on, because that centre pin is solid as hell. It's like a, it's really, really thick. So I could seam something across here, clean all this up, take that tab bit off, and then, put it across here and then down with some good solid 2mm. This side here, yeah, no reason why not. No reason why I can't just rake all that off. My feeling on this would be, because I want to see behind this, to take all of this off, all that, leave something here positioning that centre pin, and just replace this. That wouldn't be too difficult. See, the actual hanger itself is in pretty good nick, and I don't want to start ripping pieces out that I don't need to. There's enough to do on this without me creating work for myself. So I think what I'm going to need to do, just to show you the other side of that loop, or whatever it's called, that holds the pin in. There you go, so that's hold at the top as well. But the actual main structure of it is fine. So I don't want to start cutting things out when I don't need to. So I think that's going to be the plan of attack with this one, is to obviously detach the spring, take the hangers off. I've got all brand new stuff for this anyway, and I've got brand new springs. This is only done 43,000 miles or whatever it is, so this shouldn't be too worn anyway. Yeah, get all this off. I think once I've got this pin out, is take this bracket off, take that off the side, see what the actual main body of the hanger's like, which I think it'd be fine, and then fabricate this part up, weld it all up, put a new piece which surrounds that centre hinge pin there, make that to go from one side to the other, clean out all the grot, and hopefully that will see it done. Obviously I need to put a new bottom plate in and stuff, but the rest of it going back that way is fine. I know that looks terrible, but it's not. It's just, a lot of it's just service rust with a fair bit of pitting. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. So I think it's going to be take the hanger off, dismantle this, take this side plate off, and then go from there. Right, let's see how we get on. Right, let's spray a bit of this stuff on. Right, let's see if that stuff's done its thing. Well, I never did. It's actually coming off. Right, I need 2 hands to do this. I'm just going to put you on a little mount somewhere. Hang on. Oh, look at that! Damn it! It's an inch short. Hang on. Let's put a little block on the top of it. Block of wood that I used to have millions of. There we go! Got it! Right, okay, I'm coming back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, right, now forgive me for this, but I actually don't know what kind of tension this spring is under. I've got no idea. So that's just about taking a little bit of the springiness out of this, because I don't want it to come clattering down when I remove that pin. Right, so see if I can tap that pin out. Okay, I've missed the trick, fair enough. I've never done this before. Let's take the bottom one off as well. Or maybe not. No, let's not take the bottom off. Let's try some of the bollocks. Of course it's got odd nuts on. Of course it's got odd nuts on. Why would it not have odd nuts on? Will that go on? Of course it bloody won't. Oh, nice. Let's try an imperial one. See what this does. Oh, well, that's promising. Here we are. Right. You pig! Get off! Oh, don't mess about. Trying to get the socket off the nut. There you go. That's already undone. Outstanding. Right, this shackle is actually going to be replaced anyway. So let's give it a tap with a copper hammer, and if that doesn't get it out, we'll use a steel one. We're in business. I'm going to take a couple of photos of it as it is so that I know it goes back together. I mean, it's pretty simple this, like, well, you know, you can't have too many photos. So, my understanding is that that pin, that side shackle should just pop off. Okay, wrong. Oh, it should be. Oh, let's just tap this through. Now, let's see. Miniature crowbar thing here. See if we can just lever this off. I'll show you what I'm doing here. There you go. Just going to put this between here and just lever this off the side. And I'll bring you back when it's done. There we go. So, job done. Shackle pins out. And these rubber bushes are absolutely spot on. Not a thing wrong with them. I actually got some new ones, but these are absolutely fine. It's obviously had them replaced at some stage. There's no way they're the original ones. Obviously this was done, I would guess, 15-20 years ago, and these bushes have held up. So they're either poly, which I doubt, probably 20 years ago, or they're actually original parts, and not the bloody rubber that you get from China now, which breaks down after about 12 months even if you don't use it. So they're excellent. So I'm not just automatically going to be chucking these away, although I have got new ones. We'll see how the new ones measure up to these. Right, okay, let's have a look at what we've got left at the top anyway. Here we are. You see that there's some bushes here. That's that one. That's on the spring. And I'll just poke the other one out from the hanger. I'll try to. I'll get that out in a minute. There's another one in there anyway, from the hanger. Right, so I'll get all this out the way and we'll have a proper look at what we're dealing with. Okay, now time for a close inspection of this. You know what, I think it's a candidate for repair, this. I really do. Yeah, absolutely, that's broadly solid. Obviously this needs to come off. I think that's the next job, is get this off and see what's behind it there. And I think that's really going to be the decider, but I think we're going to be okay. Right, let's get that off and then we'll see how we get on there. Right, welcome back. So, I've managed to get this side off the main rail. This side is off the main rail. You can see I've had to drill out the spot welds there. And all I did, if I can find it here on the floor, is just basically put an old sharpened chisel between there, hammered up. I've got a pneumatic chisel, but it just seemed a bit overkill really. And then that goes up there, and eventually you can just prise it away and get it attached. Now, the next thing I need to do is get this piece away from this centre pin. And I want to do that reasonably accurately because I want that to stay where it is, so I don't want to be bashing it or anything. So I need to find some way of cutting this out, and I think, let's see, what am I going to do? You know what, I think if I just drill a load of holes around this, and then just look about, you know, taking out the metal in the gaps and the holes and just taking it out. But I want to keep the main shape of this correct, you see. I want to keep the position of that hole correct as well. So I think I might do a couple of measurements before I start bashing at it. Because obviously when I remake this piece to be rewelded onto the side of here, I need to drill that hole accurately where it's meant to be. Right, so I'll do some measurements and I'll get back to you. Oh yeah. Right, finally, there we go. And that's what's left underneath, which looks, I know it looks horrible on the camera, but it's actually fairly solid. All that can all be rebuilt nicely. Right, okay, so a little bit more dismantling to do. We'll flatten this out and then we'll see if we can make this piece sort of. Right, onwards. So, having removed this, we need to replicate, and this is obviously a pressed part, or it used to be a pressed part. And it needs to have this step in it to actually fit onto the panel underneath. I'll show you the panel in a second. I think my idea is to make this out of one flat piece, reinforce the centre with a second flat piece, and then just recess this hole so that I can weld it around the centre shaft piece, the tube. It'll actually be a lot stronger than this piece anyway. It'll just save me trying to hammer a piece of steel with this shape in it. Just have a little look underneath and I'll show you where that's meant to go. So you can see that it's actually meant to go in here, in that part. Also, we need to remove all this gubbins as well, which isn't too difficult. Then we'll put a new piece around here, up to there. Repair all the holes that are in this where the spot welds were. Sorry about the light there. And then we'll get it all welded up. And it will actually be a bit stronger than it was when it was new. A few other bits and pieces to weld in a little bit further back, but they're just flat pieces, that's not going to be a problem. And the rest of it is actually pretty bloody solid. Right, okay, onwards, let's fabricate this piece. We'll make the piece first, and then we'll come back and tidy all this lot up and get it welded in. Now, what we need to do is to get this back to the shape it was, more or less anyway, when it was on the car. And it's just a matter of tapping it down. Favourite body working hammer. Let's see if we can flatten this out a little bit. Well, my nappick's never going to bend straight, but there you go. It's good enough to use as a template. And what we'll do, well, I'll show you what my idea is as I'm doing it. Because obviously I've got a press that will press this out. I could hammer it all day and make that shape, but I've got another idea that might make it just a little bit stronger than it was originally. Right, I'll get a piece of new steel and we'll cut this out and then I'll bring you back. Now you've seen me do this before a few times. All I'm going to do is lay this flat, hopefully, flat on this piece of steel, kind of a spare straight edge. There we go, that'll do. There. Draw around it first of all with a scribe. Excuse the baldy head. There we go, so that's all, that's in. Right, we'll get that cut out and then I'll show you my idea for making this centerpiece. Okay, so there's our basic shape. There we go. You see that lines up nicely there. And what we're going to use, this part which has the bevel seems to be the, where's that going to be? Yeah, that's the front of the car, because it kind of goes in that way onto the side and the front is that way. And you can see it's obviously got this indent. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut another piece of steel to basically represent this piece here. And I'm going to weld it onto this to see if that works. I say the other thing I could do is, you know, beat the life out of the centre of this onto a wooden former to get that. But this is quite thick steel to be doing that with, and I don't know how successful that would be. So as I say, my idea is just to put another thickness of metal there, just to represent this indentation. And then we may need to just dome the centre hole in a little bit so that we can weld it to the tube. But we'll figure that out when we get there. Right, so I'll make this centrepiece. And if that looks slightly lopsided, it's actually because it is, because if you remember on the car, if you roll back the video, you see that the actual space where it goes is a bit lopsided as well. That's my excuse. We'll see. Yeah, there you go. A bit lopsided. So it goes that way. Right. Right, next. Okay, so that's our two pieces made. Now what we need to do is drill, I think we'll roll this one from the back, so drill holes in this, and then we'll line it up at the back, line everything up nicely, and then plug weld it. We need to put some weld through primer on, obviously, to make sure it doesn't rust between the layers. Grind it also, it's all nice and flush, and then we'll offer it up to the cart and see where we need to drill some more holes, because we're going to put some more holes here and here, and then we'll plug weld it to the car, and we might even do a little bit of seam welding just to make it a little bit more solid than it was originally, but that's the idea. So get these two welded together next. Right, okay, let's see how that fits. That's a little bit better. A little bit of reshaping on the bracket. And there we go. That fits just fine. So a little bit of cleaning up of this hole here. Cleaning up all around there. Take all these scrappy bits off. And we're ready to weld that in. Right, so I'll tidy this up first. And then we'll tidy this up. And then we'll get on with it. And get some welding done. These are the pieces that I need to finish the repairs on that hanger. That's the side there. This piece basically goes here. There you go. And wraps around the tube which is there, and the hanger basically slots in this way. Right, that's it for today. It's way too warm and I've got work early tomorrow. So next time I'll start welding these up onto the hanger. Right, okay, time for an update on where we're up to. So, that's most of the main welding done on this end of that rear spring hanger. That was a hell of a job, that took a fair bit of doing. Right, so that's all solidly welded in. It started to run out of gas, didn't I, towards the end of it, so some of the welding looks a bit spitty and stuff, and I'll tidy that up. But it's all fused in properly and it's all solid. Right, so I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this jack off, get that spring out of the way, weld a few more plates onto this spring hanger. They're fairly simple, the ones that need to go on now. They just need to go one on this side, you can just see, or underneath, and one on the other side. So I'll weld this one underneath, check there's nothing else there to do, and I think then I'll paint the inside, and I'll leave it with one more plate to put on the side of it, and I'll get on with finishing that wheel arch you can see there. Right, onwards.